we are in 15 minutes delay. Never mind, we have barely 1 hour period for the discussion. So we have appointed traditional topic to be taken for the 1 hour discussion. Before going to that, if anyone is having occasional circumstantial statements or comments or any suggestion, we can take 2 minutes. Okay? Yes.
So, I have a question about meditation practice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels, for a yogi, it feels as though there is no progress in their meditation, but the yogi really knows it's not that there is no progress, it's just that the state of his mind has come to a point where there's not much doing, there's not much activity going on. It is fairly easy to abandon, trains of thought, or it's fairly easy to abandon perceptions and just remain with stillness or doing nothing. But from time to time, some feelings or some reflections might arise in the yogi, and the yogi feels as though they need to ask questions or they need to push a little bit further to see something more subtle. But all the while, there's no doubt that the yogi is doing the right thing, or there's no tension in the mind. The defilements are a lot calm. They are calm. They are cool. The mind is cooler. It's not hot all the time. So this phenomenon, what should a yogi do in such a situation? Should he change anything? Should he adjust something? That's the question.
I can put into 2 dimensions. One thing is he or she is now seeking advices outside, extrovert. Internal turmoil is there, not discouraged, not heated up, but seek helps from the outside. Externalizing. So not enough confidence about one's own confidence, one's own internal answers. And that is one symptom. The other thing is, this is not the first time he or she would have undergone this kind of thousands and times. Different methods taken, and so far it was successful. That is why I came up to this level. It is not a unsubstantial. It is a very, very substantial state. And therefore, you have to consult your own past. Now only you can express. Earlier this happened, you have not expressed. This expressibility is a kind of attending into her age life. In a child, when it come up to the age, they are attending. Then only they are sexually mature. Likewise, our meditation become mature, we are sharing with it. Earlier it happened, internal turmoil boiling, you suffer it and go on. But now you feel like sharing, because what? You got another co-practitioners. That is a blessing. But they are not giving any answer. You are just stabling. That itself is a rectification. That's a kind of a thing. The Buddha says is the biggest, the highest dynamism of the sasana. We have co-practitioners. Come after a certain level, we don't feel like keeping it to myself. Just trash it out. That's all. Nothing to do. You have to understand you have undergone earlier and you have suffered personally or you have managed personally. Now you feel like sharing and you know this is not so critical to give up and get go. But mind is having some kind of a confidence. That is what we call we are going to do something not motivated by materialistic pleasure. Everything on the earth is motivated by sensuous pleasure. This one you can't attribute to, even if it is success, it is attributable to the sensuous pleasure or sexual pleasure. But still kind of a motivation is there. That motivation is me or mine or myself. You can't claim. All the qualifications are gone. But you see, you can still proceed. Now you are asking to improve, but you are not decide to give up. Sometimes you may decide to give up. No harm. It has to happen. Then only it becomes your own experience. Otherwise, they are second-hand experience. So it's a already happened thing. No, this is never happened in your life. First time it is happening. So this is I attribute to the human error. Artificial intelligence avoiding this kind of thing. Everything is completely planned and nothing to go wrong. No thrills, no frills, no human error. So Buddha is a human, not a God, not the intelligent design, intellectual design, not the artificial intelligence. No technical writing you can write to go to Nibbana. So much of potholes throughout life, you have to deroot it and do it. And at that time, don't think about the progress. Think about how to deal with the thing in front of you, under your very nose. That is, I call living. Otherwise, you are dreaming about living. No, you are not living. Today, education is left you to dream, not to live. Living is happening when confronted with the difficulties. When the path is paved, so boring. Yesterday, one person prepared the path on the way to my kuti with some cement slabs. And he found it is broken and kind of thing. He complained. Then I told, never mind that people you are coming must understand that this is kuti number 10. But today, when I am coming, it's a straight line. And he was at the end. He told, I feel so boring to walk along the straight line. I feel so happy to see the last 3 steps in ad hoc. Different heights, different sizes, and not aligned. I told that is the point where my original stones are there. That is called Padasila in Pali. Foot stones. When it is something there, I think it is something someone has organized. It's a trap. It's a human, how do you call it? Human puppet straight line. Very beautiful when you are going with this haphazard way. So if it is happening to you, I bless you. And if you are talking about the other person, please bless him. Telling he is in a phase of the life. How does he work it with? We give tools, but we never give helping hand. Never. Don't do it. Then he will be how to call lullabying and all the kind. He will not get the original experience. Let him have. So in my life, I had 1,001. First 10 family members, no one can give attention to me. And when you are playing in the village, boys and girls, we have no limits. Every player we can run. The river is there, trees are there, mountains are there, everything is there. So we are free birds. And at the end, the mother will count whether the 10 children inside the house or not. That's all. She has no time to try to see whether they have all the 4 limbs intact. And 2 by 2 we put into the bed and no rooms, only one bed sheet for 2 persons. If you like, you sleep. If you don't like, you sleep. That's all. So enough chances for me to assimilate my own happiness, my own. So it is private and confidential. But I am talking now openly. That today children completely missing the bus. Everything is 99%, germs are killed. And mother is doing everything. Only thing child is doing is hating the mother. We break our neck and everything, but nothing, we hide it. We never cry, because if it is so, they will hit me. What the hell you are going and breaking your neck and all the kind of thing. So we never complain. So mother observed that I have some ailment, but I am not showing. She is perplexed. Sometimes out of the compassion she come and help me. But I never ask, because it is something I have done wrong. Out of the court, that is why I can't shout. So that I wish to give it to all the mindful school children. So parents are observing and they are completely distorting our plan. But we let the parents to do it. We say, don't touch. The child is now mine, not yours. You can also have observation. So likewise, from the child to parent, teaching is happening, not the parent to children. So this is, I think, something related to what you asked the question. So therefore, let that kind of a disorder. We discuss same thing in the English medium discussion. The Venerable Jnanananda used to say, as far as you can understand the Paticcasamuppada dependent on relation, definitely in samsara you are in trouble. The day you exceed it, then you are free of samsara, free of Paticcasamuppada, then you are liberated. If you are going to discuss everything under the Paticcasamuppada, you are highly taking the full membership in the samsara, full membership in the theory. Get hooked up, bogged up. Don't care what is the Paticcasamuppada. That is beyond. These events cannot be put into Paticcasamuppada because it is not linear in relationship. They are very ad hoc. So that is the point where living is happening. Flourishing of the life. Hello, Amdro is not happy, I think.
And I'm very fascinated with that comment about Paticcasamuppada. And to some degree, I agree with it because you can read the Paticcasamuppada in the book, you can memorize it, you can be an expert at it, but if you don't experience it yourself, then it really is not useful. It has to come from personal experience.
So when it is happening, it is not happening according to the Paticcasamuppada.
Yes.
After happening, you put the Paticcasamuppada into it, feel the explanation.
Yes.
So when the thing happens. So, and the Buddha was so skillful how to put into others' communication, then you can use the Paticcasamuppada. But the things are happening, they happen according to Taoism. What is the meaning of Taoism? What is the meaning? Go with the flow, the nature, law of the nature. So let the thing happen. Non-frictional facing. That is human. Government and then economic theories and social theories and political people going to give us a proposal. Utter bullshit. They never think about our well-being by giving so much of long formulas and kind of thing. They are exploiting us. Who appointed him to give us advices? We are the people living with our heart. We are the people now with problem. I am the answer. And looking at the problem is the answer. That is what the Einstein told. Each and every sum having the answer within. You have to sort it out. Answer is not coming from outside. Just read the question. Read the sum. And then you can. Answer is within, not outside.
So I also have a question about Bhante Sarana Swaminatha also asked. Since I also found a few suttas under Samyutta Nikaya, which is explaining about this Panchaskandha, five khandhas, and it was clearly explained about the Adinava and Anisansa, Adinava and Nissarana. So let's think about the Rupaskandha, then as a meditator, let's say one yogi practice and he can identify all the characteristics, the roughness, smoothness and the temperature of the in-breath and out-breath, and he can clearly identify this is in-breath and this is out-breath, this is the characteristics of in-breath and this is the characteristic of out-breath. He can all identify Swaminatha. Then sometimes he clinking with the that phenomena, and sometimes by seeing the same thing and he fed up with that he's not in part, and after that he liberates. Swaminatha then that sutta explained the Rupa Skandha and Vedana Skandha, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. All the place there should be Adinava, Anisansa, Adinava and Nissarana. And then Swaminatha, can we imagine whatever is arising, there should be Anisansa, Adinava and Nissarana? Just like that, if we can uh, uh, imagine, is that correct, Swaminatha?
If you know the Patisamuppada, that means you have never seen the Adinava Patisamuppada. That's why you are flourishing it. That is the esteem. You are happy, I know Patisamuppada. That means you don't know the disadvantage of the Patisamuppada. Adinava Patisamuppada. How to understand the Adinava of mindfulness. How to understand the Adinava of concentration. How to understand the Adinava of Panya. They are not accepted. But it is not being taught in the schools. Only telling they are very good characters for mindfulness, for concentration, wisdom. That Buddha says nothing in this world without Adinava. Adinava is disadvantages. Everything you must have. And there are benefits, okay. But killing, you have to understand the disadvantage. And you have to understand the giving up of killing means that you are without the experience of killing. How can you give up killing? If you are not killing, you can't give up killing. You have to have some kind of killing because your life means killing throughout. If you are telling, I am a Samaritan, I am not killing, and then how can you give up? No, you have to understand whether you claim you are a teetotaler or vegetarian, you are a butcher. As far as you are living on the earth, you are a butcher. Give up. So if you are going to claim, no, I am not killing, I am not doing that, then how can you see the Adinava? So therefore, the killing or stealing kind of thing, or Sati, Samadhi, Panya, all in the same jam. Don't try to discriminate under these circumstances, these discussions. Below that, all of them are valid. But after you attaining your age, you have to put everything into the three characteristics, and at the end of four truths, noble truth, all of them are seven. Everything is having asada, adinava, nissarana. Yeah, satisfaction or your indulgence, and then there are disadvantages, and then only you can give up. If you have not indulged it, you have to give up. Sati, Samadhi, Panya, you are indulging, I know it. But you never indulge, in that sense, killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. You just say they are wrong. How do you know? But if you have done, whether you know or not, you have done already, you can see how much you are hurting others. So that is what you have to give up. If you are claiming, I am a Samaritan, I am not doing, I say sorry. But they can't understand these three, Asada, Adinava, Nissarana, and we all are the same in that sense. No one is purified, no one is in the upper layer, no one is the lower layer, we are just human. How can we say that superior beings or inferior beings? When you become superior, you disappear. You are not in the fight. You are not in this rat race. So this is the way when as you keep on practicing, you understand the situation. As much as you understand, you are losing yourself. So you have no chance to put a party and say, I enlightened. And by the time enlightened, you are not there. So no one is throw a party telling that I am enlightened, I successfully meditation. But in business Buddhism, that can happen. Mindfulness, that can happen. But the way the Buddha explained, that cannot be. Therefore, the Buddhists find very difficult to go through this. Other people, when learning mindfulness, they very easily they can understand because it's a tool. But the Buddhists, they are always judgmental. Always with the preconceived ideas. There's no harm. When you keep on mindful, practicing, they are slowly releasing, just like a shadow of a old skin of the reptilians. We shed off the outer skin and the inner skin are happening. So it is always happening. So you can have a reconsideration at any time. We are going to the formal sutta.
අවසරයි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ. සංයුත්ත නිකාය පළමුවන පොත් වහන්සේ ආදිත්ත වග්ගෝ කින්දද සුත්තං. අවසරයි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. කින්දද සුත්තං. දේවතා.
මොකන්ද? Sutta.
Kindadu Suttan. Devata. Kindado balado hoti. Kindado hoti vannado. Kindado sukado hoti. Kindado hoti chakkudo. Yocha sab dado hoti. Tanme akkahi pucci doti. Yamek කුමක් දෙන්නේ බලය දෙන්නේ වේද කුමක් දෙන්නේ වර්ණය දෙන්නේ වේද කුමක් දෙන්නේ සැපය දෙන්නේ වේද කුමක් දෙන්නේ ඇස් දෙන්නේ වේද යමෙක් සියල්ල දෙන්නේත් වේද මා විසින් ਵਿਚාරණ ලද්දෙහි ඒ වදාළ මැනවි භගවා අත්තදෝ බලදෝ හෝති අන්නදෝ බලදෝ හෝති වත්තදෝ හෝති වන්නදෝ යානදෝ සුකදෝ හෝති යානදෝ සුකදෝ හෝති දීපදෝ හෝති චක්කුදෝ සෝච සබ්බ දදෝ හෝති යෝ දදාති උපස්සයං අමතං දදෝච සෝ හෝති යෝ ධම්ම මනු සාසපීති භගවතු ආහාර දෙන්නේ බලය දෙන්නේ වේ වස්ත්‍ර දෙන්නේ වර්ණය දෙන්නේ වේ යාන දෙන්නේ සැප දෙන්නේ වේ පහන් දෙන්නේ ඇස් දෙන්නේ වේ යමෙක් ආවාස දේද හෙතෙමේ සියල්ල දෙන්නේත් වේ යමෙක් ධර්මානුශාසනා කෙරේද හෙතෙමේ අමෘතය දෙන්නේත් වෙයි.
Say this is the 42nd Sutta of the Samyutta Nikaya, translation by Bhikkhu Bodhi. It has been titled Giving What? Giving What? A Devata said, giving what does one give strength? Giving what does one give beauty? Giving what does one give ease? Giving what does one give sight? Who is the giver of all? Being asked, please explain to me. And the Buddha responds, giving food, one gives strength. Giving clothes, one gives beauty. Giving a vehicle, one gives ease. Giving a lamp, one gives sight. The one who gives a residence is the giver of all, but the one who teaches the Dhamma is the giver of the deathless. It's the end of the sutta.
So this question here is the person who is asking question is asking the question with an insight. Yes, I wish to give power, so but by what means I can give the power? I wish to give their beauty. With what means I can give the beauty? And likewise, he is asking them the Buddha, please answer because I question you. Otherwise, Buddha won't go into that detail. So he is having an insight and he wanted to dialogue with the Buddha with that insight and he wanted to get the Buddhist answer or Buddha's answer and that goes to the Tipitaka. That goes to the canon. And so that he is become instrumental for that. So that is why people in Sri Lankan Buddhists, wherever it goes, wherever the country, they give cooked food. Other people give any lot, money, and give kind of thing. But our Sri Lankan ladies, they are not happy with that. They want to give cooked rice and cooked food. And they always come with the cook. It's very delicate. You can't do it for the morning job in the evening. You have to go hot food. But the money, anytime you can do. Or use it for anything. But the food is something specific. So, today is a scarcity of food. That is because, not that lack of food, but the people are using it for the wrong way, using it for the alcohol, beer, and kind of they are throwing away to keep the market up. So ultimately, human beings, they are destroying other fellow beings. So therefore, the Buddha found any job you are doing, it is exploitation of the situation. So best job is the beggar. You go in arms round. Whatever the people give, you eat. You have no decision. You can't decide. So therefore, that is hard. Normal world consider beggar is the most meanest job. Lowly kind of a livelihood. But the Buddha made it so proud. When you are going on Pindapata, people coming with video cameras and waiting just to see. The monks are coming and the ladies are coming and they feel inspired. They know by that you can give food. Once you're dead, by giving food, you can't give the power. While you are living only, you can treat your parents, religious teachers, friends, and everything by food. So therefore, food is kind of a exchange, and don't think it is something made. Carbohydrate, oil and fat, oil and protein. It's the power. But of course, there are 4 kinds of foods. We are talking about something chewable, and pasahara, manosanchetana, viññānahara. They take you to the very deep if you wish. Read Venerable Jnanaponika's 4 foods, the best writing. I call best writing is the power of mindfulness, but he's writing about a small essay, 4 foods, very profoundly explained. Because he underwent the Second World War, and they suffered, and being German, and came to Sri Lanka, learned the Buddhism, we gave into the Buddhism. And then, if you wish to give beauty, clothing. Now, beautification make use the nudity as the most provoking thing. Clothing is what they are using, but they are showing unwanted parts. That's the most beautiful clothing to do. But just imagine a monk. He's taking a square cloth, wearing in such a way, when you cover it with the full shoulder, it's beautiful. When you see a monk in the supermarket or in the bus halt, in the main road, with the full of double shoulder and kind of thing, I mean, you can't compete it. There's such a deep meaning. But today what is happening? Does parents consider this about their children? I mean, they have no say. Does parents themselves consider this kind of thing? No. They also think that children are there. I have my personal life. I try to be with happiness. So they get dopamine by showing nudity. Ultimately, sex industry came. Everywhere, if you wish to develop the country, open the country. Simple. Singapore, there's a one projection to the sea is only for the gambling. For the Singaporean, you have to pay money. For the foreigners, free. And that is the idea they had in the Hambantota, this thing also. We developed a big harbor, and there's an island only for the seamen to go by the boat. And their clothing is not the beauty. No clothing is the beauty. And that is how people mind, complicated the situation, and so much of VD, AIDS, and specific diseases are there for that kind of thing. And they are also sometimes mind-made, man-made. And then giving the lamps is giving the eye. So that's why we have the electricity. And in Burma, it's a rule, now it is not there. You must by heart, you must read the book only under the sun. When there is no sun, you must never read. With the artificial life and kind of way, it is not good. And they have Vachana Marga. Daytime, if you go to a Pirivena where student monks are learning, and they are walking up and down by hearting. Aramana Pasiyo, Hetu Pasiyo. Everything is like a beehive. Everyone is shouting, murmuring, and walking. And the night, only the teacher have an oil lamp. The children must be in the darkness, and they must give them the by heart. And teacher also having this thing, and everyone, they are so much skillful in by heart. So they have a habit not to read under the artificial light. This whole Vachana Marga, that whole book is translated into Sinhala also. So much of thing are by heart under the light. And lamp, otherwise then students, we have table lamps and all the kind of lamps for them to study. For that only they are getting the knowledge. If you wish to have comfortable living, yana. Yana means the vehicles. So the Buddha says slippers, walking sticks, and carts, and bullock carts, everything under the sukha. And sukha upabhoga is the luxury. And you see the car industry today, what a monopoly. People are making, and the country which make the car, if it's the expenditure, the cost is $1, Sri Lanka tax $3. And therefore, there's a huge gap. And people having that vehicles are called rich people. So all the big monks, all the politicians, they measure their prestige by vehicles. Do they use it for Nibbana? So when we were in Panditharama, we were expanding at a rate. And myself and Vivekananda were very, very active. One day just asked Sayadaw in a close circle, how much vehicle we must have. Then Vivekananda told in Germany, it called 15 people, one vehicle, that is their standard. And he says, Panditharama is too much. He asked me, Dhammajiva, what do you think? And I said, Bhante, it is circumstantial how much work we have, because we are expanding. So therefore we must have. And then Sayadaw started finding fault with Viveka. You have a square mind and you say 15 to 1. And this is Burma. This is a poor country. We have to have one vehicle for visa. One vehicle go to the Sunday fair. And one vehicle for the other yogi's purpose. So how can you measure these things? I say, use it as per the utility values there. And when Dhammika Sayadaw was close by, he wrote Sayadaw's biography. He put that dialogue telling Dhammajiva says like that, Viveka says like that, Sayadaw's idea is like that. These things not the utility value. It is not the prestige. It is not for the show off. Utility. And specifically when you are living in Nissarana, you see, if you wish to bring something up, how difficult it is. So we must have carts. We must have people to carry them. And we know where the whole stretch, very difficult to bring something. So therefore, yana, way of transport, is the happiness. Otherwise, they can't put up on the forest. And therefore, people, when you go to towns and kind of, depends the transportation. That decides the town. In Japan, near the railway stations, housings are very expensive. Because no one is maintaining a vehicle, they use train. In Sri Lanka, the Badulla is a town, and everything developed upon the railways, on the tea industry. So people are just think according to the railway time. They are very active in night. Daytime not so. But now later the bus came, but still that culture is there. So therefore this traveling system is the kind of thing. And you see birds, they have their own way. And the fish, they have their own way. The horse, every other. The human beings are looking at the animals with that kind of a utility value. But human beings are not to decide everything. So they are very, very concerned about the transportation. People, prices and livelihood in Melbourne, the livelihood is very expensive. And they paid well. But in the faraway village, very simple life, not so expensive, but the wages also less. So people have to decide where to live. Mainly in the transportation. And what is given by giving, what is the thing by giving, you can give everything, the dwelling places. It is not difficult for a simple person to offer a land and a house. But usually that is what parents are doing to the children. They give him a piece of land and a house. And even if they have nothing to eat, they can sleep at least. They can beg. But if there is no house, people call uncivilized. But Buddha make us, the monks, homeless. Agreed? We are homeless. And the Buddha says, if you are going to live in one place for a long time, you are developing too much of defilements out of that place. Don't stay, stagnate. But in Nissarana, he says, don't travel. You have to be in the place. So that's appear like a characteristic in Nissarana. Because it was in the constitution. Now it is not there. So therefore, Buddha is promoting traveling. 6 months, 8 months, 9 months traveling. Only 3 months in the training retreat. At that time, Buddha says the monk is having a right to, if someone is inviting for the training retreat, you can claim a house. Otherwise, you can't. That claim also must be 3 walls. No, the 4 walls and the doors and windows. At least it must be simple shed, roof, 3 walls. That much you can claim. But no more. But if you are giving by their own, no harm. Then says you are developing, accruing so much of merit because you have given everything. But the way that you are preaching Dhamma and the Vipassana and Samatha, the highest. Because it is giving you a immortality. So therefore it's a completely different economic expression from the economic values, social values and the political values. So Sri Lankan, no one, politicians, they are exploiting these kind of things in order to get more votes, in order to get their power. In power, P-O-W-E-R, power. In Sri Lanka, it says Pina and power. Have you heard about Pina power? Pina is the meritorious, power is demeritorious. The power in Pali is, in English, power means power, the ability. But in Sri Lankan, power means the defilement. Pina is the opposite. So therefore, we are collecting so much of power. Yes, from the Sri Lankan point of view. Or the Pali point of view, they are doing away with Pina. So therefore, giving up of your household is the biggest thing, renunciation. And that is what even today we can see monks. That renouncement is unique for each and everyone. You can't say we are common in that renunciation. No, we are specific. Because we have our own strategies, our own background, and then we run away, jump away. The Buddha says it is like a cattle living in a herd. The owner is fencing them with the knife. Otherwise, the tigers and others are coming and hunting. So therefore, they are putting a fence and say it's a upland area. And every cattle is inside. So throughout them, they are bonded with the fence. So some young cattle, they don't happy, they jump over the fence. And they go astray. So monks are just like that, jumping over house, go astray. Abbaja. Vaja means that fence. Vruja, you just jump over. Against the normal law, against the civilized law, you jump. There is no method for that. So house is the biggest, and giving up house is the biggest meritorious thing. And as much as what you know about mindfulness, what you know about Dhamma, give it to others when the circumstances are arisen, at the biggest you can give. And the best is if you can give it to your parents. If you can give it to your teachers, just like a gift. This is what. You are not supposed to teach teachers, not supposed to teach parents, but you can give a gift. That is what I thought when you are there listening to.
This fourth sentence of the last verse, Amatan dadocha sohoti yo dhammamanu sasatiti. Swamini Vainsha, then I can remember the verse, Sabbadhanam Dhammadhanam Vinati, Sabbharasam Dhammarasam Vinati, Sabbaratim Dhammaratim Vinati. Last sentence I can't remember correctly. So I
Dhammakayo Sabba Dukkhaṃ Vinati.
Dhammakayo Sabba Dukkham Jinati. So I remember that verse like this sentence.
This is about sharing with others. Dhammadhanam, Dhammarati, that's you can experience self. You are not giving Dhamma, you are adding Dhamma into yourself by mindfulness, and then you can get the immaterial pleasure. Then only you can give it to someone. If you know it is not a materialistic kind of pleasure, and you are very endowed, you are very born with that, they don't know. And the day you experience it, you feel like sharing. The sharing, this is the sutta. That when you experience it, internalizing yourself, Dhammaraso, Dhammarasan, Sabbarasan, Jinati, you understand. Even it is more tastier than the mother's breast milk. It's when you are sucking it, you feel it. Then you feel like giving others. Some people are efficient in that, some people are not. Whatever it may be, it's a truth. So you can say two things in the two dimensions. Extrovert communication and introvert communication. That's one way of interpreting that.
Swamini Vainsha, speaking of monks being homeless, I recall that time we went on a 6-day tour around the south of Sri Lanka, and
That's a later.
no,
That's a monk.
as a monk.
That together with me.
Yes, yes. When you said that living in one place for a long time, you generate defilements by living in that place for a long time. So I wanted to ask, is it absolutely mandatory that a monk must stay for at least 5 years within the same
The area is not defined. 5 years under the preceptor.
under the preceptor? So they may be allowed to go out.
If the preceptor is happy.
Sorry, someone else?
If the preceptor is allowing.
Yes.
So when I got a chance to go to Burma, I was only 2 to 3 vasas. I am happy. But the person was a respected monk. Then I told Bhante, I am not supposed to go there, but I don't mind going there. No, that is not your question. Are you happy or not? I am happy. And later I lost the chance. Again it came. And then he asked my preceptor to write a letter. Giving the preceptorhood to him or to the master in the Burma. He told, that is none of your business, it's the preceptor's business. So if the preceptor is happy, no harm. But if you are breaking the hand and breaking the vow and running, still you can do. But it is not like renunciation from the parents. But this is something related to winning.
Yes, so going back to what I said about that trip, there was something very, very unique, very wonderful about not sleeping at the same place. Like, 2 nights. Every time you're somewhere different, the food you get is always different.
Hippies, or we call gypsies, they can live only 7 days maximum. And then started all the filthy, because they are not cleaning it. Ultimately, it becomes so filthy, the worms are going to come out. So take their huts and put them upon the donkey, turn into another place. And they are playing music and palm reading and that kind of thing. And black magics, snake chanting. They are traveling. That's called gypsies. Aikuntika. Very lowest in the caste system. And so Buddha also made us Aikuntika life. We can't live in the same place. If you are living, the fungus can develop. Same thing, because you are oozing so much of same vibration, the atmosphere becomes dense. But you are traveling, it says that if the tree is every day shifting the place, it can't get rooted. The tree must be set for get the rooting. If it's a good place, rooting. If it's no bad place, traveling will be better option. So it depends. It depends.
They say a rolling stone gathers no moss.
No?
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
Yeah. But meditation is gathering mosses. I'm telling you. If he says, I am at the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, your ego is growing like Moses. If the rolling stones is like vipassana, you disclaim. You disclaim it. So whether you're rolling or not, you don't appreciate that kind of rusting, that kind of stagnation.
Right.
No, samatha, I see like a stagnation, and Moses are developing. People are claiming, I got the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, I got the Devaloka, I got the Brahmaloka, I have a intercity connection with the Brahmaloka. That in the sense I consider this as a stagnation, but the Buddha appreciated it, but they disclaimed it.
So from personal experience, I think that lifestyle of wandering, it's very inviting. It's a beautiful thing in my eyes.
So that is what happened. Can you remember the hippies? You experienced it?
I know about them.
But we have seen, because our village is the other side of the Maha River. The opposite of is Peradina Botanical Garden, very famous. So it's a very big attraction for the tourists. And we have to go passing that to get any Gatabe temple. So once a month we go on this for the Poede. And there we can see, earlier there was a type of people running and cars and kind of thing. Later they became just beggars like sleeping on the bus holes. And they are not carrying anything, only one bag. And they are just like the gypsies. And people can't understand whether they must be respected or not. With the gentlemen, they are coming, they bring dollars. These people never. They just go to the village, road by village boutique, eat something, just sleep, smoking, that kind of thing. And then they went into hashish. They went to marijuana. And ultimately the Maharishi Mahayogi started transcendental meditation, giving alternative thing by mantras. Some people got it. And there were historical 2-3 people, they came through hashish and hippies and then end up with the transcendental meditation. It was a big changes from the intoxication to kind of a mantra. And ultimately through that only Mahasi system, Goenka system and the Moguk system evolved. They are connected things. How they are, some masters understand the situation and give a better one. And another one came and another better one. So we are in an evolving meditation tradition.
There was a very short sutta, only 2 verses. I think we can save the next sutta for next session. It's also very short too.
So today one also it is not a big one, but this is often we are quoting when we giving the sermon after the lunch, this sutta. Because it is starting with giving food. So that is quoted. Often it is quoted when someone offer land or someone offer household. He says that you have given everything. The monks must understand how to make use the other amenities and make use this place, because it is so now onward it's a religious place now, offered to Sangha. Sangika. Earlier people offered rocks or caves. That kind. They put a note on the rock. It is given to the monks already came and future to come from all the four directions. Symbolically give it to one monk, but the cave is written, carved, Agata, Anagata, Chatusisa, Sankasa, Dini. That's a short, brief singular. Came and yet to come, all the monks come to all the direction, this is being given. So the person he is using must be very careful not to damage it because it is given forever. So this is in Sri Lanka everywhere. Now the people are reading them, these carved, and they understand that what the kind of island. And 2 days before, two Burmese monks came, and they are in the Dhammajiva, and one monk is traveling with him. When they he says that this is whole Sri Lanka is appear like a monastery. Because Burma is very dry area, only once a year rain cycle. We have 2 rain cycles, and every time it's green. So one monk can, without anything, go on Pindapata and live in anywhere, and they can have their journey. And that is much appreciated and practiced by the foreigners, because they understand if Singapore, if you go Pindapata, you will trap and you will put into jail. If you say how homeless, that is no harm in Florida. The Florida's climate is good. So people are just living in the red light areas, traffic lights, and they put a board, homeless. Otherwise, if you are a monk, no, that is not done. You can't do it, this nonsense in America.
In Kenya, I think if you become a wandering monk, you might get killed actually and accused of witchcraft.
Yeah, accused as?
You might get accused of practicing witchcraft, black magic, those kind of occultic things.
We call wizards.
Yeah.
And when they are establishing Christianity, they kill so much of wizards. They burn live. That's against the God, against the intelligent design. So therefore, almost all history and the knowledge of the Africans are being killed. Only few people are maintaining the tradition. Because they say that is barbaric. They have to be civilized. Otherwise, they must be killed. There's a torturing machines. As far as you are believing God, you crush. They are still there in the Vatican, it seems. The crushing machine. And that is how the idea came. So that is why the Buddhism is called, it is not spreading like that kind of a crushing, that kind of a killing. But still these beliefs are still there. Still there. Venerable Dhammika, my teacher, so he went to his own town after becoming a monk, into Melbourne. And he wanted to buy something, but time like now, 10 o'clock, all the shops are closed on the weekday. He found one shop is open in the petrol shed. He was walking and he had to cross road. And he found the town council garbage collecting tractor is coming. He was waiting to keep the tractor coming. Tractor driver came, stopped near him, and carved and took into his head. He can't understand what happened with this white fellow. Wearing a robe, and he went there. You can't imagine in Sri Lanka spitting upon a monk's head. This is so much of friction. You can't find your own liberation. You have to depend on God. So you have to be with us. I am a garbage collector. I understand, but what is better than you? You get out. Imagine if it's a foreigner, he being a Melbourne person. Nothing to say to him. And in myself also, my family members, they say, you are well learned, but the hell you are going in the living in the forest and you are educated by the free education, you must do something to the society. You're very selfish. You try to find your own liberation. That is not done. I mean, the same idea, same thing. They are called civilized. They say, I am going to be a forest living. I am Babel. I am living in the forest. And so I am not going to fight people. I know by living like this, I am using least amount, I am killing least, robbing least, no sexual misconduct, and that's the biggest merit, biggest society, biggest gift to the society. They say you must have children, you must run the farm, and you must give employment to the others, and you must have a job, you must have a pension. What the hell what they are doing? They even is feeling. Don't think it is only in Kenya. Everywhere the humans are mad. Okay? That's almost like about to in the part of time. Thank you very much for the participation. I would like to invite Kaluhamdro to come up with the Anumodana.
Swami Maha said, for all the merits we have accrued on this during this talk, we'd like to extend them to our teachers, our parents, our relatives. May they all rejoice in these merits. And may all the celestial beings protect the Dhamma exposition in the Buddha Sasana for a long time. May the seeds of Dhamma that we receive grow and produce path, fruition, and Nibbana. I invite everyone to join in the recitation of the traditional Pali verses for the sharing of merits.